Good morning, my friends. Happy Wednesday. Sorry I didn't let you know I was going to be here. I missed last week, but I'm home today. So I thought I'd pop on here and paint. So I'll wait a second to see if people join me. Good morning. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Oh, good. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Allie. Allie's probably the only one that knew I was doing this morning, and I almost bagged out at the last minute. I was so tired. Good morning, Erin. How are you? Hi, Ellen. Oh, how fun. Yay. Okay, so I'm just going to paint something fun today, loose and fun, and I haven't painted since I was it's not behind me, a heart that I was playing around with on acrylics last week one day, and then all kinds of crazy things were happening in our world, so I have not been in my studio. Good morning, Emily. How's Parker this morning? How was 6 o'clock feed? Hi, Susie. Okay. I was waiting to see what Emily said. So our sweet little Parker got sick 2 weeks ago, and it's been a crazy ride. I'll tell you all about it. And my mother-in-law, too. So I'm supposed to do a show in the Artie Gras show in Palm Beach Gardens, I think it is. I don't know Florida very well. This weekend. Good morning, Patty. So I don't know if we're going or not. It's very doubtful, but I'm waiting to hear the prognosis of what we're doing with my mother-in-law, and then we're going to decide. But anyway, here, let me turn this around. So yeah, the van is completely packed, ready to go, and we might not be going anywhere. We didn't go last weekend. So I'm going to paint these olives. I thought this would be just something fun, low pressure, and be a little reckless crazy with them. So I will mix colors here first and then tell you what's been happening. So yeah, so I missed last week. Now wait, let me put this under my chair. You have to remind me it's under my chair when I go to move again. Oh, I bet it's cold. It's cold here too. Not as cold as it was though. Let's see my trash can, do you? So really fun thing. I bought a new microphone, like to record so that it sounds better, but I only opened it this morning and it's not ready yet. I was hoping it would just be ready to go, but nothing really can be, I guess. So it's charging over here. Okay, so the trick of this is to mix that olive green. Olive green's tricky, and it'll be a fun challenge. So I'm going to try it with, I have black, and I'm not sure if it's the correct black. And then I'm going to use yellow and see how close we can get to like an olivey green. And I didn't practice this in advance because I didn't have time. Look at that. That's pretty good. Now, I had a feeling it needed to go. That's very cool. It needs to go a lot warmer. So I'll set that there because I do see that color in there. To warm it up, I'm going to put a little of this yellow ochre in there. Let's see what that does. That definitely warmed it really nicely. And I think I'm going to do more. No, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to keep that. I'm not going to, got to add more. It's not different enough from that other color. Lately I've been trying to mix smaller mixes and then adjust them as I go. So I don't need more than like maybe 3 of these values. Now, if I add more of this yellow, is this yellow too cool? I bet it is. No, actually, that looks pretty good. Painted blue cheese stuffed olive. Susie, that sounds fun. I hope you had a martini when you were finished. That sounds like a lot of fun to me. That could go a little warmer. I'm going to put more of that in. I don't have any Indian yellow out here. No, I think that's pretty good. Let's just do that. And then I'm going to add a little white. I'm going to clean my palette knife off first. Good morning, Irma. A little bit more white. Yeah, that's really good. I like those olives. So now I need the, maybe I'll go right from that. Well, yeah, now let's just do the reds. Let's do the pimento. Not get precious, keep it fun and easy. That's what I need today. What is this? This color I put out, I don't use this a lot, I think. This was this Perline red. I needed more of a true red. Like, I paint a lot with pink. But I wanted it to look a little more true red. I think that's okay. Let me put a little orange in there and see what happens. Ooh, that went very orange. That cadmium is some serious color. It's too saturated. I need to desaturate that a little bit. I don't dislike the value of it. Maybe I'll put a little of this in and see what happens. I think that cadmium orange is such a dominant color. Yeah, I'll put my pink in and see what we get. But nothing's shifting it. Do you see how it's really holding on to its orangeness? That's all right. Let's keep that. And now I want a lighter kind of pinky, a little white in here. Good morning, Charla. A little white. Let's see what color it shifts toward. Even lighter. Do we like that? I don't think we like that at all. I think we like that not at all. Just cleaning that right up, get rid of it. I don't like that color. It doesn't have any personality. I'd rather go lighter, kind of a pink. Lesson learned on that. Cadmium orange is a dominant friend. Doesn't play well with others. All right, that's better. And now I need a shadow color. Oops, cleaning this off. So the shadow looks very green. And I wish I had a darker olive too. Now that I'm seeing this, I need to take my olivey green. I'm going to put some raw umber in there. Because there's a lot of, ooh, isn't that pretty? All right, glad I thought of that. Because that is maybe which direction I want to go a little bit with my shadows, which are green. Oh, I had Viridian out here and forgot to use it. Maybe I'll put a little this in there. Needs to be, let's put a little more Viridian in there. Oh, that's nice for a shadow. And then we'll lighten it a little bit. Kind of a transition color, and then put this white in there. And a little more white. Sorry, I'm not reading what everybody's saying. It's always hard for me to see it when the phone's tilted in that direction. They're fun colors. I think that's a good start. So I'm going to set that to my side. Pull this out. So my studio is a mess because I was getting ready for an art show. My kitchen is completely torn apart and life's been crazy. Okay, I'll start this and then I'll tell you what's been going on. So I thought I'd use my phthalo blue and brown as my background instead of going too crazy, because I like pops of crazy, but not all reckless crazy. So I'm mixing together some of that and transparent brown and getting out my brush and just using a little bit of liquid. I love starting everyone with a little heart underneath there for good karma, good painting karma. color. So I was just going to do, kind of background and then go back in and wipe out a little bit. You see, oh, I was going to say I feel glare. You definitely see glare. Okay. Oh, what were you wondering? Me too. Of your necklace. Oh, Barb, yes, I made it. I had made these beads for, I'll show it to you. Let me take it off. I made these beads for friends a couple years ago, and I found 2 necklaces laying in my with all my jewelry. So I took them apart and made a longer necklace and just put little beads in between. But they're all handmade beads, and then they're all hand painted. It was so much fun. Like, yeah, I love Valentine's. It's such a fun, low maintenance holiday. You just get to give love, and you don't there's no chores involved. I love that. Well, I guess you can make it chores, but I don't think so. I love making stuff. Whoops, I went over more than I wanted it to. Excuse me. So much fun. And I had time to do that, but sometimes I get inspired by crazy things. Like last night I was thinking about what I want to do for my calendar for next year. And if I had nothing else to do today, I'd start playing around with it, but that's never how life works. But so let me tell you what happened. So I think it was last Wednesday, probably, no, it must not have been because I wasn't live last Wednesday. Anyway, my grandson, who's only 4 months old, Emily, Mardi Gras is next Tuesday. Those beads are great. They are great for Mardi Gras. I love that because here, I don't know if it's everywhere, but it's Fosnot Day, and I love Fosnots. And they're donuts that people use up all the, I guess, lard back in the day. Maybe the really good Fosnots have lard in them. But I don't think a Fosnot day goes by that I don't have one. It's kind of fun. Ooh, I like that. Okay, now I'm going to use my pigment sticks. Oh. 2 Wednesdays ago, Emily's filling me in here. 2 Wednesdays ago, Parker, who's now 4 months old, he wasn't eating. He wouldn't swallow his food. He was getting lethargic, and Emily did all her due diligence and got him to the doctor. I think that was probably Wednesday morning. And a really long story short, and an awful journey, but they ended up at the emergency room at their nearby hospital, tried to figure out what was going on with Parker, and tested him for COVID, tested him for, RSV, all the things. Everything came back fine, but he wasn't swallowing, eating. He was getting lethargic. You could just tell that he didn't feel well. And really long story short of figuring it out, they finally decided he had infant botulism. And that comes from dirt and mainly only happens in southern Pennsylvania, primarily Bucks County. I think it happens in Ohio a little bit, Utah, and California. And his whole body, what it does, botulism, like when you get, what's that called when you get it in your angry 11s to get rid of wrinkles, it paralyzes you. It paralyzes your muscles. And so his muscles were all shutting down, and it started with his throat, and then it was going toward his lungs. And a lot of children that get this, if you don't catch it early enough, they have to go on a ventilator, which is terrifying. Well, what they had to do was emergency deliver an antibody from North Carolina. They had to fly it to Pennsylvania and then administer it within a certain amount of time to him. And the antibody stops the shutting down from happening. It doesn't make him heal or make the person heal. It stops and part of it is that it only happens to like children under 1. Adults can be exposed to it and nothing happens. It's all okay because we can fight it off, but infants can't. And the thing of it is that, like, I never even heard of this before. It's like people need to know that it's a thing. Like if you live in that area and your child or grandchild stops eating and their systems start to shut down to even ask about checking for botulism, you know? It's like, it doesn't happen often. I think there were 300 cases in the United States this year. And luckily, the hospital, they figured it out, gave him the antibody, and he is on the mend. He is he was in the PICU for, Emily, what was it, 5 days? Was it more than that? And, a little something. Oh, it must have been a piece of this fell down. He's on the mend now. He's doing really well. But because it was shutting down his body, he had to relearn to suck to be able to eat. So he's on a feeding tube. But poor little guy, he is doing his best to. Yes, it was way too long. It was grueling, and it was really, really scary. And in the midst of that, all that going on, my mother-in-law got sick, ended up in the hospital. So Mike and I were tag teaming between Lancaster Penn Medicine and the hospital Emily was at. Who knows? All the days blend together. Yeah, so Emily's still sleeping on like a little couch thing in a room at the rehab center. And they're doing a wonderful job with him, aren't they? So when I went up there for a few days, basically just to help her by sitting around holding Parker, which is, the best job going, to give her a rest because I'm super tired. But how terrifying. And it's something I never heard of. I never knew of any child getting it. Like, it's nothing you would ever, if she wasn't at that hospital, for them to actually know that it was a thing, because they'd had 6 cases, I think, in the Lehigh Valley network that this year. So they know about it. But even the pediatrician that she goes to didn't know about it being a thing, I don't think. So scary. Feel so vulnerable with your child's not eating and systems all shutting down for no reason. And 2 weeks ago, he was completely fine. Yeah, it was so frightening. Most of the cases last year were from a farm, Emily? I don't know what, from a what? A little lump there. I added a little bit of black into my shadow color because it felt a little too warm, I guess. I do like this little bit right here. Oh, from formula. Yeah, I don't know how. There are cases where babies have gotten botulism from formula. I do remember hearing about that. And Parker hasn't had any formula, so that was definitely not it. Yeah, they were ruling it out because he hadn't been near any construction sites, didn't have formula, and never had honey. Honey's also a culprit for some reason. But he didn't do any of those things. I need a sip of my coffee. So now, before I can decide if I'm going to go to the Art Gras show, I've got to find out what's happening with my mother-in-law, who had a UTI and ended up in the hospital. So it's been, and we packed in the middle of it all, not knowing if we were going to go or not. And that's always the hardest part, because we keep a lot of the stuff in a storage unit. It's off season because we don't have room at our house to store everything, and I don't have one of those fancy art vans. I need one, but haven't made that investment, because I always say I'm not sure if this is really what I want to do when I grow up. Do outdoor art shows. Still on the fence. Hi, Kathy. Kathy, it looks like you went on an amazing trip. I wanted to comment on your post, but I think I was in the car and it like disappeared before I got a chance to. But you went somewhere amazing with Haley Joe Summers and his name just fell out of my mind here. And Joe. That looked like so much fun. I'd love to do a trip like that sometime and not be the one teaching, be the one learning. I love the one we did in Marietta with Joe. Ellen says it's still amazing that you can paint and have deep conversations when you're painting. I seem to be able to do one or the other. He's doing much. Emily said Parker's doing much better. We're breaking out of here on Friday at 11. Yeah. Out of there. And they've done a wonderful job at the rehab. And Kathy, where did you go? Do you want to put that in here? It sounded exotic and fun. Was it warm there? I think it was warm. I like that little bit of blue. Do a little more blue. Yahoo. Haiti Joe and Joe were an amazing. I bet they were. They're like a dynamic duo of plein air painting. A little bit of that blue. I don't know why. I just feel like it. Just feel like doing that. I was trying to be a little more reckless crazy. It's always a hard thing to do. I need to get really dark right here. Oh, I have something hanging off my brush. Can you see that? I can't really see it, so you probably can't either. Bahamas, Eleuthera. You can't even tell me how to. Unfortunately, not as warm as it usually is. Oh, I heard someone, or you posted, or someone said about it. One of the challenges was it being chilly. Well, I guess it was colder everywhere. Maybe was it just this past week? Bahamas. Wow, how cool. Fun. All right, I need a sip of my coffee. So where's everybody watching from? You know, Emily's in the Lehigh Valley, Bethlehem. I've driven there a lot in the last week. Beautiful island. That's so neat. Did they plan the whole thing? Was it their trip, or did they do it through a group trip thing? I always think that sounds cool to like plan the whole thing, but I would not. I would hate doing that, I think. Coordinating all of it. Like some people do those trips and they make all the plans, they find the place to host it. Like, that would not be worth it to me. I'd be stressed all the time. Sarasota, Florida, Germany. Modern Impressionist Magazine. Oh, cool. That's fun. Queens, New York is the alley. Mississippi Gulf Coast Sisters right now. And grateful for that. I think it's supposed to be a little warmer here, too. Good morning, Sherry. I think. I hope. Boy, the one night when I was going to the hotel later at night, like, I thought my fingers were going to freeze. I wasn't dressed appropriately for being outside with it that cold out. But when it's not usually that cold, you think, oh, I'm only going to be outside for a minute. How bad can it be? It can be bad. And I don't like cold. I like hazy, hot, and humid. Yeah, 60s. Allie says that sounds lovely. Allie's got probably the same temperature as I have. That pretty dark. Right here. There's a little light happening there, and this is a little, I would say this is kind of red. Right in here. And then kind of a blue highlight down there. Irma says, loving the blue-green combo. Me too. Ellen says you should have a place in South Florida. Yeah, I should. It's too far away from all the chaos of life. That does sound fun, though. I'll just come visit you. I just need to have friends in all the key places, right? And my friend that I was going to stay with in Sanibel for the week in between the last show and this one, I'd have been there right now. She ended up with gallbladder surgery. It's just been crazy times lately. And not even full moon. Isabel said it's been crazy at the hospital. Like all kinds of crazy stuff happening. Usually you could count on it being full moon, but it's not. Where the craziness is coming from. Guest room is ready. Thank you, Ellen. One of these days I'll make it there. I'm just kind of dancing around got a little piece of pigment stick on there I gotta clean up. Someone walked in my house. I don't know if it's Mike or Landon who's working on our kitchen, so it could get noisy. Just let you know. Can't tell who it is. I'm going to just keep these kind of thick brush strokes and not fuss with them. And this a little softer. That little stroke softened that. That's nice. So just adding these highlights pull the olives out, even though they don't barely even look like olives yet. I think I need to get the kind with blue cheese in them to have a martini. That sounds good right about now. Emily's wishing for a Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc right about now. Well, maybe not this early in the day. Right, Em? Hi, Alex. Oh, that looks fun. I like all the chunky pieces. I don't want to go too far that I lose all those brush strokes. So now I think I can go with my lighter colors. Emily wishes to be anywhere but there. I know, but you're in the right place. Right where Parker needs to be. And my son Alex popped in here too. He's got Miles who isn't sleeping at night. Hopefully he's getting better, Alex, is he? I hope so. All these little babies. Oh, I need dark down here. This needs to go dark. It's like I totally missed the back side of this. Now the fun part kind of is that the highlights are in the pimentos, but they're also, you know, there's reflections down there below the bottoms of the olives too. I didn't know if it was you or Landon.
What?
I didn't know if it was you or Landon upstairs. I mean, that dark here. That same. Yeah, they're starting to come forward. You can see the the dimension a little bit. Trying to think where I'm headed here. Does the green look too? I don't know. I kind of like it. I'm not going to fuss with it. I feel like the green is a little too vibrant, like it needs to be desaturated, but I like that it's funky because that's what I'm going for. So I'm second guessing myself. I do that a lot. I need to just have fun with what's here on the palette. Right? Don't overthink it. Just have fun. Do as I say, not as I do. Now I'm getting ready. I have a workshop in Kennett Square coming up the beginning of March. So that's the next thing I'm focused on. I just got my aprons printed. And I need to work on my name tags and make sure I have all my supplies ready. So that'll be fun. I love the greens. I do too, Allie. It's a party painting. I love that, Jennifer. Yes, it is. Need a good party. A party painting. That has a really cool highlight down here. So let's do that. Just a little bit on my brush. So right here, there's highlight right here. Definitely right here. I think I need this dark. Does that look right? I think it's okay. I think I need a little more, be a little less precious there. All right. It's getting there. Maybe I need to work on my, well, no, wait, let me do this first, and then I'll work on my pimentos a little bit. Kind of have this the wrong shape. I love just running, like when things work out like that, that when you know, it's like I blend the colors right on the painting. I love that. Okay, now a little more of my reds. It's sure to be a noisy day here because I think my whole kitchen floor is getting torn out. Crazy. And of course, isn't that how life works? When it rains, it pours. In the midst of all the chaos, now we're tearing the whole kitchen apart. I think we'll be glad in the end. All right, more of the red. Ooh, that looks really good. All right, tell me if I'm missing anything. Now, when I get to this point, I have to think a little bit harder about what I'm doing. I'm looking in the camera. These two values are too close, so I've got to make sure I have this. Lighter green and a little of the darker red to push that back in a little bit. I did paint a great big one of these one time and I loved it. And big cherries. What else could I paint? I love how much you make it your own. Thank you. This painting makes me wish I had a bar to put it in. Yes. What are you waiting for, Ellen? That'll be a really fun part of my kitchen, and we might add a little extra kind of room off the back of the house. We're planning to. I'm very excited, like, to have a gallery wall and to like be able to kind of have switch around my paintings and have them in a pretty spot instead of just like propping them here and there, which is what I do, and that's fine too. But that's the perk of being an artist, right? We can just switch out the artwork. Yeah, that's right. Oh, never mind. My neighbor's writing to me. Now I am paying attention to too many things. Is that too much light? Might be. We just want little touches of that's a little too much. Okay. Something about those highlights I'm not loving, but let me do the lightest green before I fuss with that. Sorry, I'm thinking a lot now. Those little highlights, like right here's a beautiful one. Cut the bottom. I don't know what that means. You'll have to tell me more. A little bit more of that blue. It's a nice pop of color. And I have a little bit of gold that's just sitting there. I love that. We were asking how the olives. Oh, yes, that's what I did. I got the bottom. Gotcha. Oh my goodness, that's funny. I missed all of that. Ellen says, I love how you brighten the olives instead of going for the drab, autumny olive green. Yes, I did. I cut the bottoms. That's how I did it. You figured me out. I thought it was my painting I needed to do something. Reckless crazy. Like, what does that mean? Yeah, I'm all about the fun colors. Okay, one, I really like it. I don't think it needs fussed with too much. I want to do just a smidgenest bit of highlights in the olives because the highlights look flat. So I'm just going to use a little bit of pure white, I think. I could put orange in it, but I think I just want pure white. To make that pop a little bit because they just need a little more zhuzh, a little sexy. Makes them look juicy. Have some thick paint on there. I love thick paint. I would paint much more thickly. Is that a word? I'd paint with a lot thicker paint, except thick paint takes forever to dry, and I'm never ahead of myself enough to let paintings dry for months before I need them for shows. Oh, that's so fun. What colors did I use for the background? That's a really good idea. Does anyone here remember? It might have been the color I used to start with, and it was like my phthalo blue green shade from Vasari, and I used I used transparent brown and mixed them together, and then I think I added I don't even remember, but I think this Video Blue Extra Pale maybe into it. Barb says, amazing olives, Kim, and kudos for you being able to pull this off in the AM with all that's going on. Yeah, well, it always feels good to be here. I wish I was with Emily, but I'll be back there again soon. I think I'm going to sign it because if I start fussing with it, it's going to lose its looseness. So I'll show it to you. So there's my reference, and then there. I love all those colors in there, all that delicious, and I even love that chunky bit of pigment stick. So it's loose, but it's olives. And then there are my colors. I don't think I did use this for some highlights. That wasn't one I actually mixed, but there's my palette. So thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I missed you guys last week. This has been more than a 5-year thing of doing this, but I will save this on my YouTube channel. I have like 5 years worth of them over there if you want to watch more. And I want to get better at my filming and stuff. I did get a microphone, so I'll try that next time to see if I can record it better. What else? I have a few of my cute little heart. I don't have one here with me, but my cute little heart paintings, I still have some of those left. I haven't had time to really promote them very much, but if you need a little extra love for Valentine's Day. And I still have spots in my workshop that I'm going to do in Connecticut in August. I think that's all I can think of right now. Yeah. So thanks for coming and hanging out with me, and I'll do it again next week. So thank you. Thanks for coming. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.